Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. Gonna do some couple shout outs to my subscribers. One is Cattywampus McDougal. Okay, I hadn't used it a lot, but honest Amish beard oil. I really like this stuff, but it makes the a lot easier to get my fingers through and kind of comb it out. But long before the current beard trend, way back before the 60s and 70s, and long before the 20th or the 19th century, for that matter, beards have been an integral part of the Amish culture. So, pretty cute. But yeah, this stuff has got a avocado oil, virgin pumpkin seed oil, sweet almond oil, apricot kernel oil, golden jojoba oil, virgin Moroccan argan oil. That's a new one on me. Kukui oil. I kid you not. Kukui. Kukui oil. If that's how you say it. Plus 7 essential oils unnamed. Don't see where they name those, but yeah, I do like the stuff. It smells good too. So, and I'm going to do a shout out to a new subscriber and answer a question or two there. So I want to touch on I found my one of my sticks that I was telling you about, pH sticks. So I'm going to again start using that. I should have never stopped. Like I said, I got about 10 or 20 of them. I don't remember. Handed them out to everybody in the family, and everybody loved it. I mean, loved them. So, want to make a point that when you're on YouTube, and the same with Amazon, if you'll put something in your cart, like this here, maybe I hadn't. I'm pretty sure I put it in my cart. They knew I was looking at it, so they'll drop the price a couple, $3. You have exceeded the limit. Okay, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. So this was $33 free shipping. Now it's $30 free shipping. Well, not bad. 20 of them for $30. So that makes them $1.50 a piece. Pretty cool. Now, another interesting thing was, and this, sometimes I look at them, sometimes I don't, but frequently bought together with Amazon does it too. And I just at a glance there, this was even smaller. It was on a different screen. And, that in the middle of that looked vaguely familiar. So I looked at it closer, and it's like Sawyer water filter product. So anytime you combine two technologies, like the vortexing tornado with, like I said before, the magnet. Okay, I thought maybe that kind of looked like it had a magnet in it, but just get magnets and glue them on these things. And I've got a couple of them coming. I'll let you know. I'm pretty sure they just alternate. Normally they do north-south, north-south. So if you do 6 magnets, space them on these things equidistant. It would be nice if they had the correct number of flat places. Like if they had 12 flat places, that would make it really nice. As I recall, the ones I had gotten only had like 8 or something. They had an odd number of, strange number of flat places on. That would just make it easier. Or if they're round, that would make it, you could put them anywhere, but it'd be harder to measure. So anyway, point being is, Sawyer combined a water filter with tornado vortexing, and you've got a lot, a good thing going. You get more effect on the water. This is an alkalizer thing that combined with vortexing or water filtration. Because what I'm looking at here is I'm trying to get across to y'all out there. I'd like to know. I got 3,800 plus subscribers. How many of you care, about what I'm doing, and have you taken any actions? Have you bought any of the things I've asked you to buy or mentioned for you to buy? One of the top of the list. I mean, and I'm talking about if you're planning on someday having to bug out. I mean, a lot of preppers have that in their mind. They're going to someday bug out, have their bug out vehicle, and How many people even have that? You know, how many really have that going? You know, a bug-out vehicle. What's your second stage? What's that mean? Well, that means when the car breaks down or you've been sideswiped or it's been shot up, do you have bicycles? Or are you going to be on foot at that point? So the number one thing to have is a good pair of boots, hiking shoes. I mean, pretty much more important than a car if you're planning on bugging out, because chances are you're probably not going to make it very far. You're going to be hiding. I don't know. I hate even talking about that, because that's what I, after a few years of reading all these post-Toastie scenarios, I was like, you know what? It's like really close to 100% impossibility that anybody's going to get anywhere. So I think it'd be wiser to go live at your bug-out location, and that's what we did. The guy recently said, I'm here, I love it, ain't leaving. You know? So, and I said, well, that reminds me of what I said on Prepared Society one time. Somebody asked a question. If you had to go to your bug-out location and stay there for the rest of your life, how would you feel about that? Kind of, you know, I'm doing it like a psychologist, you know. How would that make you feel? And my answer was, we did, we are, and we love it. Wouldn't look back. So if you're going to be traveling, in any case traveling, a couple things that would be really wise to have would be, you know, a 250 milliliter bottle. You notice the angle of that is a little bit up, and this is when I rammed a, used that rusty screw to get it to open up just a little bit, a little bit, but that just happened to be a little bit of water left in there from last usage. Okay, so but 250 milliliters, and that is enough to clean up after you have used the bathroom, number one or number two. It's enough for number two. All these preppers say, you know, I toilet paper is worth more than $1 a sheet when, you know, things fall apart. Well, like I said the other day, a guy told me that, you know, CIA been around the world many, many times, many places. Within 3 days, you're going to be shaking hands left-handed, because your right hand's going to have, everybody's going to know. He said this is true of every case in every situation, anywhere on the earth. In 3 days, you shake hands left-handed, because your right hand, everybody has run out of toilet paper, and everybody shakes left-handed. So just put that in your little repertoire of facts to know about, you know, reality. It's just a reality check. If you think you're going to save up cases and cases of toilet paper and somehow convey them without them getting soggy, without them making a nesting bonanza for mice and rats, squirrels, or anything that feels like shredding them, you're nuts. You're not dealing with reality. So, FUD, female urinary device. I was telling you about this one before, but it has a little nozzle on it so that you can just squeeze onto virtually, you know, pop bottle would be obviously the most common, pop bottle, or, you know, disposable water bottle. But it also has, that would be the most common bottle neck, but it can be put on multiple sizes of bottles because it's tapered somewhat. And it has a groove there for air, so it's not going to back up and blah, blah, blah. It's got a silicone ring here. I've shown this before, I'm just doing it again. It can be used as a funnel for guys, you know, emergency situation, because it goes down. So you could be in a vehicle, a plane, car, driving, whatever, and you could feasibly use that. Just put a bottle on there real solid, and it's got that downward action. Now for women, you know, that's what it's kind of made for. But, you know, awesome deal. And it allows you to, like I said, reuse that valuable, sterile, vitamin-filled liquid that you just got rid of. I had another one, but I didn't. Yeah, cheap one I showed last night, I think, anyway. So, you know, really inexpensive things you can get that are going to help you survive. You got pain, arthritis, any kind of pain, grounding strap, $1 on eBay. Get them. I've said before, when the first night I started using one of these, I barely got it on my wrist. I went like this. I put it on my wrist, laid down, and I fell asleep and started dreaming in about 3 seconds, and then woke up, and I was like, wow. I knew my body was shot. I was laying down that night. The next night, I was leaning up. I wasn't even laying down, and I grabbed it like this with my left hand to put it on my right wrist. I went like that. And my thumb just happened to, this hole, that's carbon fiber. Carbon is a resistor, not a conductor, but for all practical purposes, it conducts electricity. But my thumb just happened to hit on that plate there, the steel plate. With my eyes open, I started dreaming. And I was like, yeah, I knew my body was shot. The second that you are not grounded, you are dying. You're demineralizing. So how many minutes, how many hours out of every given 24 hours a day are you not grounded? We are made to be grounded to the earth. You can do it while driving, you can do it while sleeping, you can do it while walking, you can do it while sitting. Sitting, driving, and sleeping are real easy because they can all be done with one mat, one piece of material. So get those things done. I mean, if you're a prepper, you should have, everybody should buy at least 20 of these tornado tubes. You should have 100 of these things to give to friends and family. It's just too simple, too cheap. If everybody's so selfish that they're not going to take care of anybody or not want to help anybody, we're all toast, like I said. Nobody's going to make it. Nobody's going to make it. So I am altruistic. Look it up. I'll deal with that sometime. Try to explain it to me. Try to explain it to y'all. Disinterested benevolence. It's one of the proofs, to me, one of the proofs that a person is truly a believer. That they will do for other people before they'll do for themselves. They'll help other people. They will do something for other people. Talk to them about a need they have. Act in service for them before they'll go for others' comfort before they'll go for their own comfort. So just the way it is. That's a proof of true salvation. Anybody who is being selfish, who is living in selfishness and grasping everything to themselves, in my book, is a goat, not a sheep. So, not knocking anybody. I'm just saying that's one of the ways to tell. Are you unselfish? Do you have a service mentality? Do you have a servant mindset? Are you willing to take up a basin, a towel, and wash people's feet? That's what Messiah did. So, all right. Now, water, I wanted to go to the idea of structured water, and there is a lot of material out there, but I just want to focus today. I'm probably going to come back to this off and on because this is something that I've like I said, I've done such a massive amount of study and research that I forget stuff. I forget how important it is. I mean, you don't do it every day, you kind of forget about it. So I would suggest look at this guy, Gerald Pollack, because he has a book out. It's called The Fourth Phase of Water. That TED Talk there, 24 minutes, listen to that. 24 minutes. At least listen to the 2-minute one here, because he talks a little bit about there. And then there's some, every one of these is great. There's a 13-minute one there, TED Talks. Maybe go to the 2-minute one, then to the 13-minute, and then to the 24-minute one, something like that. And then there's a 2-hour lecture that the TED Talk is like a condensation of. So just some absolutely fabulous stuff. Of GrahamHancock.com. He's a writer on pyramid and whatnot. That one you see there in the middle, 48 minutes and 37 seconds. So anyway, look at some of these. Thunderbolts project. Oh man, yeah, that's it. There's a 2-hour thing there with Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is the Electric Universe people. There's one. Thunderbolts project. Yeah, there's 2 of them there. I knew there was 2. There was both of them about an hour, right? Phenomenal talk. Electric Universe, yeah, and the fact that water may very well give us free energy. If you're not aware of it, in 1 gallon of water, there's 2,000 gallons of free energy called hydrogen, HHO, hydrogen oxygen gas. I had this one queued up and I forgot that. So right about there, I'm going to go ahead and pop this and play it.
That there are unexpected applications to this. The first one is getting energy from water. The way this water forms is very simple. Whenever water meets hydrophilic material, by hydrophilic I mean water-loving, it undergoes a radical transformation. That we were astonished to see this, that the water molecules are actually lining up with one another in some ordered.
Now notice their cube. There's like a cube shape there, but then a cube, looking at it from an angle, about a 45-degree angle, there's a hexagon there, so water is hexagonal. They talk about the hexagonal structure of water. Well, that's what you're seeing there, but it's not a flat. It's a crystalline, and it's a 3-dimensional. So it hooks up like that. It becomes extremely structured, and that's what he's getting at here.
Fashion. Like a liquid crystal, if you will. It's H3O2. Particles, and later we found molecules, are progressively excluded from this zone that was sitting right next to the surface. We also call it the exclusion zone, or EZ for short. This 4th phase of water is not neutral. Typically, it's negatively charged, and the water just beyond it is positively charged. And as you might guess, if you stick 2 electrodes, one in...
Okay, so that is a critical point there. The structured water is negative, and that's powerful, because that is why you want to do this. This is negative electricity. The Earth is an absolutely infinite, absolutely, infinite and free source of negative electricity. Structured water is a negative charge. When you are adjusting the pH of your water, you're adjusting the electrical capacity of it. You'll see ORP, oxygen reduction potential. That phrase is real, I mean, I can't tell you how many times, as I did for 5 years, I did research for tuning element. My research and lifetime of research. I doubt you can see them, but if I had a flashlight here, I'd shine it. But I had, researching the logo and all that good stuff, and the name tuning element, because I kept saying it has to be musical. It has to be musical. It has to do with music. It has to do with. I doubt if you can see them, but yeah, maybe you can. Yeah, little white blobs in there. So. Oh, here we go. See if I can shine it through it. Nope. Anyway, so just kind of a classroom, water 101 here type thing. So the Earth is, you're looking for negative electricity because pain is caused by inflammation. Inflammation is caused by free radicals. Free radicals are little bitty positive charges of electricity that cause inflammation, which causes pain. How do you get rid of positive charges? With lots of negative charges. Or you can spend lots of money, really expensive money, expensive money, yeah, like really high dollar items like your CoQ10, your all your what you call antioxidants. Okay, so ORP, as I was saying a few minutes ago, I was doing research, and I'd run across oxygen. Somebody say ORP. For several times as I first ran across it, they just said ORP, an ORP meter. The ORP is really high here, it's really low, or whatever. Put it on the back burner, put it on the back burner, put it on the back burner. Well, you get a pH meter, and a lot of them also can work as an ORP meter. So ORP is oxygen reduction potential. Okay, it's a different scale. I'll go into it sometime. I'm not going to do it tonight. It's a different scale, but it's similar to pH. You're adjusting the pH, but ORP is actually measuring the electrical. Basically, it's a more I would say just roughly. I'm just trying to describe it roughly in layman's terms. It's a more accurate way of measuring the electrical capacity, conductance of the water. So, all right. So that's basically it. I wanted to cover that. And combining, I want to touch on this again. Combining technologies, I believe, is always good. If you're doing something positive, because what you end up getting is a multiplication, a synergistic effect. So that was one of the dumb things. My partner kept saying, let's do electrical, let's do magnets, let's combine some technologies. Imprint these sticks with frequency. So you have you're dealing with frequency and. Well, no. And then he kept demanding more research and more research. I said, you haven't used anything I've given you other than the very first thing that I've shown you. Why do you want more research? I said, I've given you this mountain of diamonds, and all you're using is the first little chunk of coal that I gave you. So anyway, point being is, you can combine them. And Clayton Nolte, yes, in his water devices, there's frequency infused into the little balls, the little spheres. And with Verity Farms, look up Verity Farms. They're the ones that use 3 spheres. Okay, so they have 3 and then offset, 120 degrees 3. And I really like those. I'd love to get one of those. They're like 139, where Nolte's is 319, I think, something like that. So get into some of those things. Okay, so I'll go back to that now. All right. So listen to this guy. He's the book is phenomenal. 8.5 by 11, about 1.5 inches thick. I mean, one of the most well-written and readable books. It's not like it's a doctoral thesis. He's funny, because there's a lot of places where he's making conjectures, educated guesses, and he'll have the out on the limb meter. He has a tree with a little caricature of himself sitting on a limb, and how far out he's sitting on the limb, and how far away from him he's sawing the limb off, or if he's sawing the limb off in between himself and the tree. I mean, got a sense of humor. You got to love the guy. So looks like a gnarly old mad scientist, and pretty just neat guy. The book is super well written. I would not think that anybody that wanted to order it, it would be well worth reading. And what I'm saying is that anybody can read it. It's not a super high technical, hard to read book. I wish I knew where mine was right now. I'd grab it and I would probably read it on video. It's that good. So, all right, that's it. Good night. Thank you. This is Jerry Diamond, How to Get Out of Babylon. If you're listening to this, you are the remnant. Please listen and get some of these things done. Get yourself some of these. They're cheap. They're dirt cheap. Probably less than $1 a piece. The cheap ones are these. The pink orange ones, the pink one. What do you call them? The pinky purple looking ones that I had. Those are less than $1. So get those. $1. I kid you not, $1. Now, I like to get these in like 50, 20, 50, 100. my wife and a friend were making a grounding system that I designed. So, and I designed it in such a way that I knew that anybody that ordered one from us could go, I can build these. That's how we designed it. I did that deliberately so that anybody could knock it off and build them themselves instead of buying them from us. So that's the way things should be. And so, yeah, I'm going to talk about the guy, the Durand Interstellar. So Jerry Durand, he wrote me, and he wrote me back on my couple questions I had. Really neat guy. Really neat guy. I want to just give him a shout out too. So, all right, this is Jerry Diamond. If you listen to this, you're the Remnant. Bye bye.